Today, we're talking about war, a digital war. This is your personal guide to digital defense, because guess what? Whether you realize it or not, the front line is literally everywhere, and you are on it. So let's just kick things off with this headline from the Wall Street Journal. Honestly, it sounds like something straight out of a movie. This single sentence perfectly captures the absolutely chaotic and contradictory new world we're all living in. And that headline, it's not just a headline. It pretty much sums up our new reality. A digital battlefield where the most advanced AI is a weapon, and the very institutions that are supposed to protect us are, well, fighting their own battles. I mean, just look at the timing here. On February 27th, President Trump issues an order, stop using Anthropic's AI. But then, just a few hours later, that exact same AI was reportedly used to support a U.S. attack. This isn't just some policy mix-up. It shows you how deeply these tools are already woven into critical operations. You can't just flip a switch and turn them off. And this confusion isn't just happening on some far-off battlefield. Back home, you've got CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. These are the folks who are supposed to be the steady hand, the guardians protecting our power grids, our banks, you name it. But look at this list. The agency's been hit by a storm of controversy. We're talking a major security lapse at the very top, failed polygraphs, and massive staff cuts. So when the Guardian is in chaos, who's actually watching the gate for you and me? Okay, but it is not all doom and gloom. While those cracks in the foundation are definitely alarming, there is some massive and often invisible work being done behind the scenes to build our collective digital armor for the threats of tomorrow. So there's this huge threat looming on the horizon: quantum computers. Think of them like a master key that could unlock basically everything that keeps the internet safe today. The fix means using much bigger chunks of security data. But if you sent all that data back and forth, it would slow the web down to a crawl. So the challenge is, how do you get stronger without breaking the internet we all rely on? And this is where things get really clever. Check out Google's solution. They're using this mathematical trick called Merkle trees to basically shrink that enormous quantum-proof data down into a tiny, lightweight proof. Your browser can check it in an instant. This is that deep, unglamorous engineering that keeps your personal data safe, and most of us never even know it's happening. And speaking of security, you can literally hold in your hand, Apple just hit a massive milestone. For the first time ever, a standard, off-the-shelf device, the same iPhone you can go buy in a store, has passed the unbelievably tough security tests to handle NATO's classified data. Now, why should you care about this? Because the very same features protecting NATO secrets are the ones protecting your photos and your banking app. We're talking about encryption that's baked right into the hardware, Face ID, all of it. This is literally government-grade security sitting in your pocket. The takeaway is simple. Use it. Turn on Face ID, keep your software updated. But you know, the biggest threats don't always come from the outside. Sometimes the Trojan horse is a device that we willingly bring right into our own homes. So now let's look at how our own tech can be turned against us. You might think this kind of stuff only happens in some faraway authoritarian state. Nope. Take the Predator spyware scandal in Greece, right in the heart of Europe. Commercial spyware was used to tap into the phones of ministers, journalists, a whole list of people. And while, 4 people were convicted, the whole thing led to these new laws that now make state surveillance legal under certain conditions. The threat is real and it is global. And that brings us to a really personal question for this new AI era. You put on a pair of smart glasses to capture a memory, but who else is looking through your eyes? Well, a recent report dropped a bombshell about Meta's Ray-Ban glasses. See, to train the AI, human reviewers are watching video clips that users record. And according to employees, they are seeing everything. And I mean everything. People in their most private, vulnerable moments. Even things like credit card numbers. So here it is. This is your new golden rule for any AI camera or microphone you bring into a private space. You have to ask this one simple question. Yeah, sure, the terms of service might technically allow it, but you need to know if another human being might one day be watching your life. You have to make an informed choice before you press record. All right, we've covered the state-level threats, we've covered the dangers inside our own homes. Now let's get to the playbook. This last section is all about clear, actionable steps you can personally take to defend yourself on this new front line. Okay, so check out this new threat. It's subtle, but it's really dangerous. Ransomware gangs aren't just smashing down the digital door anymore. They're getting inside networks and using the same employee monitoring software your IT department uses. But instead of fixing a problem, they're just watching, learning the rhythms of the company, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. So, here is play number 1 for your personal playbook. Question remote access. If your mouse cursor starts moving on its own, you tell IT immediately. If a random pop-up asks for control of your computer and you didn't ask for help, you hit deny. In this environment, you are not being paranoid. You are the first and most important line of defense. Now, let's look at the next big leap in AI. We're not just talking about assistants that answer questions anymore. We're talking about something new called agentic AI, like this tool, OpenClaw. These are AIs designed to take action for you, all on their own. And right there, that's the critical difference. An assistant waits for you. An agent acts for you. That autonomy is incredibly powerful, but it's also a huge risk. Imagine a hacker sends one cleverly worded email that tricks your AI agent. That AI, just trying to be helpful, could go ahead and pay a massive fake invoice without you ever knowing. Which brings us right to play number 2. An AI that acts can be tricked. It is that simple. Before you unleash an autonomous AI on your work, you've got to understand what it can access and what it can do. This is not a decision to make alone. Your IT and security teams absolutely need to be part of the conversation from day one. Finally, let's talk about a core problem in our new AI-driven world. So Anthropic just showed off a new tool that found over 500 security bugs in major software projects. 500. A revolution, right? Well, not exactly. Of those 500 plus bugs, you know how many humans have actually managed to analyze and fix? 3. And that just illustrates a fundamental truth, doesn't it? AI is absolutely incredible at finding problems, but the real work, validating the problem, understanding the context, implementing a thoughtful fix, that is still deeply, deeply human. The bottleneck in keeping you safe isn't discovery anymore, it's judgment. So I'll just leave you with this question. In a world where AI can find problems way faster than we can possibly solve them, who do you ultimately trust to keep you safe? It's a question that puts the irreplaceable value of human analysis and careful judgment right at the center of our digital future.